Welcome back to CBS News. Detroit at noon. New Mexico authorities have released an updated timeline of actor Gene Hackman's wife's final days. In February, the pair was found dead at their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And initially, Betsy's last known communication was on February 11th. Now, the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office says she used her cell phone on February 12th. And whenever a celebrity or influential person passes, there are always questions surrounding their will. Joining us today is our legal expert, Danielle Mayoras. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go ahead and dive right in. What do we know about Gene Hackman's will?
Well, his will was filed earlier this month in New Mexico, and because a will is a public document, we're able to access it. So I have accessed the will, and what I saw was interesting. It was barely 2 pages long, and there were a couple interesting provisions in it. One is he did not choose to nominate one of his 3 children to administer his estate. Instead, he named an attorney that works for a trust company. But even more interesting is we heard in the news so much that he left everything to his wife and now she passed away. But in actuality, the beneficiary under his will is his trust. It's the Gene Hackman Living Trust.
Okay, how rare is that? Like, how surprising is it that he didn't name one of his kids as decision maker beneficiary?
Well, as decision maker, it's not surprising in the sense that it's been reported this may be an $80 million estate. So a lot of times when we're talking about that much money, you want a professional like an attorney or someone from a trust company. And there were rumors he had strained relationships with his kids. Now, as far as the beneficiaries, it's no surprise at all to me as an estate planning attorney. And when everyone was reporting in the news, it all went to his wife, it all went to his wife, I definitely had my radar up because anytime someone has a trust, as an estate planning attorney, we always do something called a pour-over will, where the beneficiary under the will is actually the trust, so anything that does go through the court system then pours into the trust.
Any potential for kids to challenge this? How locked in is it? Is this in stone, or is there wiggle room after the fact?
The good news is he did have a trust, and anytime someone has a trust, it's much harder to contest than a will. So they can try to contest it, but the other thing that has come out is obviously Gene Hackman had Alzheimer's when he passed away, but this will and this trust was done almost 2 decades earlier, so any challenge on grounds of competency would be very challenging.
We mentioned whenever this happens with celebrities, it creates conversation. What should people take away from this and getting their own affairs in order?
I always encourage looking at revocable living trusts. It's great. Not only has it afforded Gene Hackman some privacy after he's passed away, because trusts, unlike wills, are private documents. And most of us want that, whether we're a celebrity or not. The other thing is he was in a second marriage situation, so it makes a lot of sense that he wanted to have a trust as well, because it limits fighting. So keep your affairs private, limit fighting, make sure your wishes are followed. A trust is a great way to do that.
Danielle Mayoras, always appreciate you breaking down the legal side of these big headlines. Appreciate your time.